So, um, and actually, I should go back just a minute here. So I'm going to share with you what I think are, these are my top 10 apps. I've actually got, I could go on for an hour and a half with all the various apps that I use, but these, they wanted me to narrow it down to the top 10. So these are the ones that I think are really most important for agents to use and are the most helpful. They're going to save you some time. They're going to help you connect with your clients better. I will tell you that not all of these are free apps. There are, most of them will have a basic function that's free. I tend to use the paid version that I think that gets me more productivity is a little bit better. But if it saves you enough time, enough energy, brings you more clients, then it's worth paying for that app. And most of them aren't too bad price-wise. So the first one I want to talk about is HomeSnap Pro. And the regular Pro version is free. It's already paid for by CRMLS. And you can connect to it through CRMLS. And really nothing against Zap or using your Coldwell Banker website. And if that is working for you to have your client search and connect with your clients, keep using Zap. I think Zap is great. But there are some things for me that I like better about HomeSnap, and in particular, the HomeSnap Pro the way it is now. And one of those is that if you happen to have a client, and I'll give you an example, a friend of mine was visiting in Carolina and happened to fall in love with the area and decided he wanted to buy property there. And so he's searching for property there. Well, if he's using the Coldwell Banker app, guess what? He's going to get connected to a Carolina agent. He's not going to still stay with you within that app. If he's using HomeSnap, which is a national service, it's everywhere, and he's searching there, he's still connected with me. And I see that he's searching for property in Carolina, and I can ask him about it. Hey, are you thinking of moving there? What's going on? Saw you favorited a couple of properties there. Can I help you find a great agent? And I'm going to get the referral out of that, as opposed to him just being connected to somebody else. So that's one of the things that I like about HomeSnap better. Second thing that I like about HomeSnap is when you actually, as an agent and you're signed in and you look at the property, you see agent-only information. So if my client favorites a property and HomeSnap shows me that they favorited the property, when I look at it, it gives me all the showing instructions, the agent comments, et cetera, just like it is in the MLS. And so I don't have to go out of the app and go look it up in the MLS or some other way when I want to schedule a showing for my client. Just makes it much easier, much quicker to be able to schedule that information. I can contact the listing agent right out of the app and schedule the showing right out of the app, et cetera, without having to go somewhere else. It has texting feature within the app, and just like Zap does, if he's likes a property or requests a showing, it's going to contact me through the app. And so I just find it, for me, is much easier to use. I am using the Pro Plus version of this, which right now, because of COVID, they reduced the price. So it's $100, $99 for the year for the Pro Plus version. And what that allows me to do is create ads. It allows me to request reviews for Google. So this is connected to my Google page, my Google business page. And so when I ask for reviews through HomeSnap, those reviews go right to my Google Plus business page. And if you looked on my profile here as a client, you would also see everything that I do, all my Google reviews, et cetera, show up in my profile here in HomeSnap as a client or somebody who was looking at me. So I liked this interconnectivity of being able to get reviews quickly and easily and have my reviews show up where people are going to see it. And finally, the other feature that I like about HomeSnap, and I've been using this for years, and before it got popular in the form that it is now, basically the way it worked is that you go and you stand in front of a property and you can see this little camera icon here. If you click on that and you take a picture of the property you're standing in front of, it will pull up all the information about that property. If it's listed, it'll give you all the listing information. If it's not listed and you're an agent, it'll give you all of whatever information they have there about who the owner is it distressed, et cetera. But when you go out and you preview listings and you just stand in front and you take a picture, and it give you the opportunity to rate that property. So you can say, just like in Zap, you can say, hey, I think this is a 5-star property. Here's what I like about it. And the more that you do that, the more likely you are to show up for somebody. So I'm in Moreno Valley. If I'm going around previewing property in Moreno Valley and taking a picture of it and rating it, when people are searching for properties in Moreno Valley and they say, find an agent, the agent who is out there doing that is the one who's more likely to show up for that client, and you get free leads. So just by going out previewing property, they'll send you a lead based on clients or potential clients using the app and going out and looking for property. So, and it's free. That part is all free. Think if there's something else. They have the HomeSnap University kind of will give you ideas of how to use this better. The last feature that I like about this is you'll see over here, it says find an agent. And I don't know if all of you do like I do. If I have a listing and I get offers on my property, one of the first things I want to do is go look up the agent who wrote the offer and see how many transactions they've done. I want to know how experienced the agent is on the other side of that transaction before I'm accepting an offer, asking my clients to accept an offer. And when I go to the find an agent in HomeSnap, you simply search them by name and it'll bring it up, and it will bring up all of their transactions for the last 2 years. And so that tells me, is this an agent who closes a lot of deals? Is this somebody who's not closed a transaction in the last 2 years or 1 or 2? And for me, that's very helpful. And I don't have to go through several steps that I have to go through in CRMLS to do the same thing. So if there's no questions on HomeSnap, I'll go on to our next one.
Okay, no questions so far.
Next favorite app that I like, and generally if you were to search for this just in the App Store, it's called Palm Agent One. It's Palm Agent. You can get it as Palm Agent, but it's free if you connect to your title company. So there is actually paying for it. And all of the title companies under the Fidelity umbrella, so Lawyers Title, Chicago Title, Tycor, Fidelity, have this app. And so if you're connected with Lawyers Title, it's Lawyers Agent One, Chicago Agent One, et cetera. And just contact your title agent and ask them about it. Every title company is going to have something similar. So if you happen to like Orange Coast Title, contact your agent, your rep at Orange Coast, and ask them what their app is and take a look at theirs. I happen to like this one because I like the layout of the net sheets and buyer's cost sheets that it creates for me. If you pay for the extra added version of this, it also gives you potential ads. You can create an ad that's a cost calculator. It'll actually be something you can post to Facebook that buyers can go on and say, how much would it cost me to buy a home if I put this much money down, et cetera. The same kind of thing that I would be creating for them myself here within the app. But especially net sheets, you know, I can do a net sheet on CRMLS. It just doesn't look as pretty. And this one I can choose from several designs and how I want it to look. And it's pretty accurate. And you're going to choose the closing date, so all your tax information is correct. The one main thing that you've got to do is know if there are Mello-Roos taxes or not. And this one doesn't look specifically at the property. It's just taking a guess at typical taxes for the area. So if you've got Mello-Roos taxes, you're going to have to add that cost in manually. But clean and easy, super quick to create buyer's cost sheets or seller net sheets. Any questions on that? Okay.
Yep.
Next one, RPR mobile. Yeah, and I realize right now we're not holding open houses, we're not doing door knocking, etc. And generally, this is my favorite app for door knocking. And you can use it on the tablet, you can use it on the phone. What I really like about this is that it's automatically using your GPS to tell you or to find what's around you based on your exact location. And so it's doing a half-mile radius around where you are specifically. And it's telling you how many properties are currently for sale there, how many new listings just came up, how many recently sold, how many distressed properties. And so if I'm out door knocking, I know exactly what's going on in that neighborhood. I can already have looked at those potential properties that are there. And the really nice part is that I can generate a property report on the fly in seconds. And so if you happen to be talking to somebody at their front door and they say, well, yeah, I was kind of wondering what my home is worth, you can say, you know what, I can send you a report right now. It'll take me about 2 seconds. What's your email address? I'll send it to you. Or what's your phone number? I'll text it to you. And you can do that in seconds. Right now, and because you're in front of their property, it will do just like HomeSnap. It'll pull up the property that you're in front of, and you can choose that one and generate a report. And it's that fast. And when you can show that you're technologically savvy in front of somebody at their front door and send them a report, they're pretty impressed with it, and it works. If you're, of course, you're not door knocking right now, but you can still use this. You know, if you're sitting on your sofa bored at home and you want to do the ninja selling thing and say, I'm going to send out my 2 CMAs a week. So I want to go back to my past clients, and I want 2 people a week. I want to send them a property report, give them an update on what's doing in their property. You can do this right out of the RPR app. Search the address, generate a report, and it's really, you know, depending on what kind of report you want to do, it's seconds. It's going to do like Cloud CMA or others that it will pull up all the comps for you. You can set all of your parameters. You can refine those comps before you send out the report, but it's very quick, very easy, and here's just a great way to stay in touch with your client base and show some value to them. And if you're just sitting there doing nothing anyway, why not take a couple of minutes and open up your RPR app and send out some property reports to clients and see if you can generate some new business that way. And RPR, by the way, this is from National Association of Realtors. If you're going into your app store, you're just going to look up RPR Mobile. You are going to sign in with the same sign-in that you use for NAR or through your MLS. Very easy to sign in. You also can do commercial. So if you're like me and you do some commercial sales, it has great tools for commercial sales also. So it'll help you determine cap rate. It'll help you look for investment properties and things like that. So well worth checking out and trying with your clients. Okay, questions on that one?
Nothing.
We're moving fast. So like I said, we're going to be done pretty quick, I think.
Although Nick did say that's super cool.
Cool. Cool. I like it. Yeah, and just try these things. Most of these things are free. RPR app, RPR mobile is free. You're already paying for it with your dues, and it's very clean. I think you'll like it. Next one, and I hope all of you already are aware of this, but if you're not using Zip Forms mobile, you should be. And generally what I do, so if I'm out showing property to buyers, I've created a buyer's template with all of their information in it in Zip Forms. So I've got my basic forms set up for those buyers. All I have to do is put in a property address. And for most people, you go out and you show the property, and then they decide maybe they want to do it, and you say, oh, let's go back to my office, or I'll go back to my office and I'll create the form and I'll send it to you. Well, if you've got ZipForm mobile and you've got your template set up, then you can say, why don't we go stop at Starbucks? Let's write up the offer right now and we'll send it over. And again, you're going to show your clients that you are tech savvy, that you're the person who can get these things done, and you don't have to print out any of the documents. So even if I'm on a listing appointment, generally I'm not printing my listing forms to take with me. I'm going to do it right here in the ZipForm mobile app. They can sign everything right in the app, and it makes it cleaner, keeps all your forms clean, saves it that way. And it just makes you a more mobile agent and makes you more professional. And again, I absolutely hate getting scanned documents from people. They're just not clean. They don't look good. They don't look professional. Yeah, and I really think we need to get away from printing and scanning docs. So this is the easy way to do it. And everything that you see in Zip Forms, normally you're going to see in Zip Forms mobile. The thing that I like the best about it is being able to pull up the docs and sign it right there on site on your iPad.
Okay, question on this one, John, is that one's free, correct?
Yes, ZipForm mobile is free. It's already paid for in your CAR dues.
Okay, the question, are the clients getting the ZipForms mobile app on their individual phones, or are they using your phone?
So they're using my phone or my tablet. So generally I'm doing this on a tablet just because it's a bigger screen, they can read it. And of course, so now during Corona, it's probably a little bit more difficult to hand them the tablet and sign. But if you're doing things and you're sanitizing and all of that, I would guess you're probably okay if you're meeting with clients. But you can do the same thing. So if I don't want to hand them my tablet to sign, I can still send them that through DocuSign or through ZipLogic's signature thing with the mobile app. So I can say, hey, I've just created this for you. We put in all the things we just talked about, and I'm going to send it to you right now. And you can, when you're sitting right there with them and you send it to them, if they've got questions about signing, you can help them. But the nice thing is that I can show you on my tablet, I can scroll through the document, explain things to you on it, and then I can send it to you, and then they can sign on their phone. So it doesn't have to be signed on my tablet. If it weren't for Corona, normally I would be saying, okay, I'm going to hand you my tablet, go ahead and sign.
Okay. Okay, doke, that's it.
Yeah, and the next app that I really like, I happen to like DocuSign much better than any of the other digital signing apps, especially better than the ZipLogic. ZipLogic to me is just cumbersome. It's slow. It never loads properly. Yeah, and DocuSign always loads quickly. It's easy. DocuSign, if you want to do more than a couple a year, is paid. I think the paid version is well worth it. And what I like about it is since I've got it on my phone and on my tablet, so if I pull up here, I've pulled up a closing statement on my, that was attached to my email. So I open the attachment and I can click on the share thing, and you can see right there, because I've got DocuSign on my tablet or on my phone, it gives me the option to say sign with DocuSign. So then it takes this document that was in my email, moves it right over to DocuSign, and I can send it through DocuSign to wherever I need to send it to, or I can sign it myself if I need to sign it myself. Yeah, and makes it so much quicker, so much easier than having to pull it some other way and send it to somebody. And especially, you know, imagine that you're traveling, you're on vacation, or you're doing something else where you haven't got your laptop with you, but you want to get this handled quickly. You can do this right on your phone. And so to me, that alone is worth the, I think it's $25 a month for the pro version to do this. And there is a real estate agent version, which is what I use, that will put the realtor signature in your logo. And it's cheaper than their standard version because it's through, I want to say it's CAR has the discount. So try the realtor version, look for it, go through CAR, yeah, and connect to it through that if you're going to do the paid version. And the other part of this is that if I open the DocuSign app, I can pull in docs from wherever I have. So I use Google Drive for most things. I can open it in Google Drive. I can open it in any of the other services that you use, and you can sign right there. So again, I don't have to have a computer in order to get documents signed. I can do this on my phone. I can do it on my tablet, wherever I'm at. And this is what makes DocuSign worth using for me.
Okay, no questions. Oh, there's one just popped up. Hang on. Let's see. How do you or the clients get your signature into DocuSign iPad?
So when you open when you've got DocuSign on your iPad or on your phone already, it integrates with everything else. And I'll talk about my email app here in a minute, but essentially all I've done is I've opened this attachment. So on this first one here, I open my email, there's an attachment, I click on the attachment, it's a PDF, and it opens the attachment. And down here on the bottom corner is this little box with an up arrow. And when you click on that and you've got DocuSign loaded, it will give you these options of what do you want to do with this? Where do you want to share it to? And you can see on mine here, it says sign with DocuSign is one of the automatic things that I can do. And all I have to do is click that, and it puts that form right into DocuSign, and I can send it to my client. This is what makes that so easy, is from my email program, I can send this off to be DocuSign in seconds, literally seconds. And I don't have to download it to Google Drive first or something else. It was in my email, and I loaded it to DocuSign and sent it off.
Okay.
Question.
Yes.
Hi, my name's Darren. Thanks for putting on this training. My question with the signature kind of, I guess, goes with this same thing. Are you helping your clients put their signatures in? Is this something you do with a tablet where you kind of, you know, use an Apple pen and you kind of sign it in? Or I'm just curious to that whole process.
So most of the time when you're using DocuSign, you can do DocuSign in-person sign. Most of the time I'm not doing that. It's getting emailed to them. They get an email that they open, and when they open this, it'll open up the DocuSign website, I guess, for them to be able to sign. And they're going to sign right on their own phone, and it walks them through the process. And this is, again, one of the reasons that I like DocuSign is it's pretty self-explanatory. I have yet to have a client say, I couldn't figure this out. because basically it tells them start. And when they click to start, it'll say, do you want to read through this first, or do you want to just go to sign? And if they can review it if they want to. In many cases, in most cases, I've already reviewed the document with my client. So all they have to do is sign. So that makes it very easy, and they just click, I just want to sign. It'll take them right to the block. They click the button that says sign here, and it signs there, and it says finish, and they're finished, and it's done. It's that simple.
And that's, I guess, way quicker than ZipLogix.
For me, it is. So every time I've used ZipLogix, it seems like it takes forever to load the form, and sometimes pages in the forms don't come through. Yeah, and it doesn't go just like DocuSign, where if in DocuSign, if the client already knows what they're signing and we've already gone through the form and all they want to do is click the button to sign, put their signature there, this goes much faster. It's literally seconds for them to open it, click the button, sign, and sends it back.
Okay, thank you, John. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And this is, to me, is one of those where it's just worth paying for. You know, there are some things where in our business, you're running it like a business. It should be worth it to you to pay for some of the things that will make you more productive. And to me, DocuSign is one of those that makes me more productive and helps my clients do it simpler. And it's just worth it.
And John, to follow up on that, I think you'll notice like every TC uses DocuSign. I've yet to find a TC that uses the digital ink, you know, the ZipLogix built-in one. They all use DocuSign.
Right, right, exactly. And and honestly, anybody who's doing a lot of business, I'm sure, is using DocuSign.
Every single one that I know that's doing like serious volume. The question from Dan is, how much is DocuSign?
I don't remember exactly, but I want to say with the CAR discount, I want to say it's $25 a month.
Yeah,
if you get their discount, I want to say it's 40.
We did have a discount at CBABR also. That if you go through, I think Laura up in admin, those that are on here from CBABR, she can answer that question. And like you said, there's a realtor version that's a you know, puts the logo, you know, the realtor, the R, and that by their name.
Yeah, yeah. And when you have the paid version, also in the realtor version, it has my own logo. So when my clients go into DocuSign, especially if they're on the computer, they see my picture, my logo, my information there. So it helps your branding also, and ties them more to you. So this is again where, as opposed to ZipLogix, that I want to show I'm a professional, and I want them to see that consistent branding that I'm putting out there.
Okay, that's it for the questions.
And again, I realize we're not holding open houses right now. I know this is some of these things I'm going to talk about we can't do right now, but hopefully in the near future, we're going to get back to doing business as usual. And this is again where I want to get you away from paper that gets lost, that gets shuffled, that doesn't get into your database. And so this is one of my favorite apps, and Open Home Pro is free. There is a paid version. Don't do the paid version on this one. Just do the free version. This is basically just an open house sign-in app. That's all it is. And the nice thing about it is you can create a special sign-in for each thing that you're doing. So I've done not just open houses, but I did events at Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo would have Wells Fargo mortgage days, and you could, as a realtor, maybe you can go into the Wells Fargo with a loan rep and work the mortgage days with them, and I would have people sign in on the app. Makes it very easy to share all of those sign-ins with your lender. especially if you've got a lender who's holding your open house or holding an event with you. I can ask specific questions. So I can set whatever questions I want. So it doesn't have to be just what's your name, what's your email, what's your phone number. I can ask questions like, how soon are you planning to buy? I can ask something funny like, what's your favorite color, or what's the average flying speed of the African swallow, or whatever I want to ask. So, you know, make it fun. Don't just do the normal things. You don't have to be all business. You can do whatever you want with this. Yeah, and the nice thing that, one, it's paperless. People are less reluctant to sign in. So if you've got your iPad sitting out right in front and you've got a sign that says, please sign in, you know, protect our clients, or my seller requests that you sign in, would you please sign in? And when they touch on the screen, it'll take them to the first page, which is, you know, give us your name. Next page, give us your email. So each page is a question, essentially. So hopefully, even if they don't complete the process, you get some of their information. And what I find is that people are more likely to give you correct information when they have to type it in like this. So for some reason, and I don't know why, it's just something psychological about it, that they're less likely to give you a fake email, or less likely to give you a fake phone number when they're typing it in, as opposed to when they're writing something on their sign-in sheet. And I know if you held open houses, we have all experienced this, the people that purposely write that you can't read it when they sign in on the sign-in sheet, and you didn't get that contact information.
Yeah, it looks like a doctor's prescription when they handwrite it on the sign-in sheet.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, they'll purposefully transpose numbers or give you a, you know, leave something off on the email address or something. And this is going to recognize, is it a valid number or a valid email address, et cetera. It's not going out to any database to search that phone number or email, but it does check that it's in the right format.
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing, John. It's just really weird that they do actually put accurate information if it's on an iPad. It's like, okay, this must be legit. I'm going to put my real email on it. I don't know why. It works out that way.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're addressing it in the right way and just saying, you know, hey, appreciate you coming by, and my seller's requested everybody who comes through sign in, would you please sign in? You don't get people saying, oh no, I'm not going to do that. Everybody's going to sign it. You know, and so you're going to get more information, you're going to get better information. And then after this is done, you say end open house, and you can go into the back end of this, and you've got a list of all of the names, and you can export that as a CSV file and upload it right into your database. You can upload the whole file right into your database. I don't have to type anything in. It's a few minutes if you know how to upload that kind of file into your database. And if you're using Zap as your CRM, Zap has that way to upload bulk contacts, super easy to do. And if you're a little more savvy about it, you set up a automated campaign. Maybe you've got a template already set up with your email that says, thanks for coming by my open house. Yeah, and you know, here's some information about that open house, or whatever it is.
Okay, there's a couple of questions that are related to each other. It's from Jennifer and Kathy. What does the app look like? They can't find it on the App Store.
It should just be called Open Home Pro. Yeah, and hard to say what it looks like, but it should be right there in the App Store. I'm gonna search that myself real quick. Yeah, so I just searched Open Home Pro, and it comes up. There's just a blue icon with a circle and a house, says Open Home Pro. Now, could be, I'm an Apple user. I use an iPad, and some apps, as you know, are iPad only. If you're on an Android, maybe that's the problem. But I know it used to be available on Android because I've helped other agents put it on their phone with Android.
So I asked the question, I'm searching Open Home Pro, but and I'm on an Apple, but that's not coming up.
Are you on a phone or an iPad?
I'm on a phone.
I think it's iPad only.
Yeah, so it's
Oh.
intended for iPad.
Okay. That explains it.
That's going to be why. So, and if you, in your search thing, you know, you can change from, am I searching iPad, iPhone only or iPad? And it probably would come up in your search thing, but it's iPad only. It probably wouldn't show up very well for a phone anyway.
Got it.
So,
Okay. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And then somebody else found it on Google Play. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, and you can see in my example here, I actually took a picture from my listing and I put it there as the background picture. You can do that. They have other plain things. Yeah, and the other option that I will give you here, if you are more tech savvy, I use another app from MailChimp that does the same thing, that will put the clients directly into my MailChimp database. So if you are a MailChimp user and you've got some tech savvy, check that one out. But for most people, Open Home Pro is going to be a much better thing. It's already set up for you. So easy to use. I think that once you check this out, you'll find that it's so easy to use, you won't switch to anything else. And getting your client database uploaded quickly is well worth it, where I don't have to go back and type everything in myself. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, and I don't know for how many of you, but you're out showing clients homes, and they want to ask you, how safe is this neighborhood? And we would all love to be able to say, oh yeah, I think this is a great neighborhood, I think it's safe. We're not going to do that. We don't want to be the one to decide for them, is this a safe neighborhood or not a safe neighborhood, or give them any indication of that. What anybody's vision of what safe is their own determination. But what spot crime does is lets them search by an address and will show you what's going on in that neighborhood. All of the crime reports around that specific location will come up, and it will tell you, is it tagging? Is it burglary? Is it some other kind of crime? And if you click on these icons, it'll tell you exactly what the crime report was and when it happened. It's generally going back 90 days. And I have this on my tablet so I can just kind of show them what it does. And then I suggest to my clients, why don't you get this app for yourselves? And when you're out in the neighborhood and you want to see what's happening there for yourself, you can decide if this is a safe enough neighborhood for you. There's crime in every neighborhood. You're not going to get away from it. How much crime and what kind of crime is going to be important for them to decide if that's a neighborhood they want to live in or not. The one caveat on spot crime is that it is not available in every neighborhood. I have had some in like Rancho Cucamonga, for some reason, the last time I tried it there, it didn't bring up any property or any data. So you're going to have to see for yourself. There was another app that was called Crime Mapping that I used to use, and Crime Mapping has gone away. So if spot crime doesn't work in your neighborhood, check for apps, just search for Crime Mapping or Crime Statistics as an app and see if there's another one that works for you. For me, in most of the areas I'm in, spot crime works, and it does show all this data, and I like the graphic interface, and I like that it shows the map and where specifically these crimes were reported.
And is it free?
And this is free. Yes, this is a free one. And again, it's one where you can bring it up to show your clients an example and then let them put it on their own phone and use it.
Okay.
My next one, and this one isn't free, but I want to say it was a $6 one-time purchase, so it's not an ongoing cost to use Spark Email. It was a one-time cost. And I really like this as an email app. One, I can put all of my emails in there, my personal email, my business emails, um, and I can color code the emails. I can have it separate out the emails by importance. Is it newsletters? Is it junk? Is it whatever else? But the feature that I like the most about this is when I go to folders and I look at this right here where you can see attachments. So if I wanted to go back and somebody says, hey, John, I sent you this attachment, rather than trying to search through the emails, I can go right to attachments and I can look for the attachment. And then once I find the attachment, it'll bring up the email that had whatever all the attachments were with it. Yeah, and so again, if I'm looking to send something via DocuSign to somebody, I can go right to attachments and search attachments rather than searching emails. It is also made for teams. So if you're somebody who has a team or you've got an assistant that you collaborate with, you can create drafts, or your assistant can create a draft and share it with you. And you can do more team collaboration with this. You can create templates within this. It's not meant for something where you would use MailChimp where you're sending out bulk email to thousands of people. This is going to be where you can create templates that you're going to send one-offs of. But this again is great if you're doing the ninja selling type contacts and you're reaching out to people and I want to send something where I'm going to have a select few people that I'm reaching out to for a specific purpose. I can create that template and can send it, or your assistant can create that template and say, hey, John, do you like this, what I created? Do we want to send that? And you can say yes or no, and you can collaborate on it. But I also just love the easeability of this. And the other thing that I like is that it connects to all of the other services that I use, such as DocuSign, Dropbox, and Google Drive. So when I open an attachment, if I want to save it to Google Drive to a specific file right from my email, I can just click that Google Drive icon that's within the email and it'll save it there for me. So it makes it much easier when I'm mobile to save documents, to work within it and to find all of those things. So if you're using the standard Gmail or something like that, I think you're going to like this a lot better.
Okay, there's questions on this, John, but Kathy asked, going back to spot crime, is it possibly Crime Spotter with an R?
That is a different one that, and you might try that one. I want to say there's probably 5 different apps that I've looked at out there. But this one is just spot crime. Yeah, and I double checked that last night, so that's what it should show up as. And again, it might be an iPad, not phone app. So try it otherwise.
Okay.
And so I also wanted to touch on, while I'm talking about email, and I hope that all of you, especially if you're a Gmail user, that you're using Gmail as your contact list instead of storing contacts on your phone. And I hope that none of you store your contacts on your phone, that you're using some other database to do that, either Gmail or Outlook or whatever it is that you use. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've talked to some agent or seen somebody else that says, oh, my phone got stolen, or I lost my phone and I don't have any contacts anymore. Please send me your contact. You know, don't do that. Don't do that. If you've got it stored in the cloud. So, and for me, this is what is so easy, is because everything is stored in the cloud. Nothing is stored on my phone. Yeah, and so if I lose my phone, I can go right now, go to the store, pick up a new phone, and have everything restored exactly as it was. All of my contacts there, all of my documents are stored in Gmail or in Google Drive or Dropbox, depending on who I'm working with and where it's at. And I don't have to worry about losing anything ever. Yeah, and this is the benefit of storing everything in the cloud, yeah, and using this kind of thing like a cloud-based email and connecting to those cloud accounts. So if no other questions, I'm going to move on.
Nope, that's it.
This app, and this, it says from Spark. This is not Spark email in this sense. And if any of you guys remember, I want to say it was almost a year ago, probably was, I think it was more than a year ago, we got something from Coldwell Banker and Realogy that says, we have this new thing available called Spark. And if you signed up for Spark, it was, part of it was being able to get healthcare through them. And they sent out something recently that says you can, for a very low cost a month, you can get virtual doctor visits. So if you didn't have a full healthcare thing, or yours didn't offer virtual doctor visits, they were offering it. And I signed up for that just to check it out. And this one is paid, it's $69 a year. But one of this forewarn was the coolest thing that came out of this Spark from Coldwell Banker. And what this does is somebody calls you and you're not sure who this is, or if you're paying for leads on Zillow or wherever it is, and all you have is a phone number, I can take that phone number and put it into this forewarn app, and it will go search that number and give me everything about that person based on that phone number. So it can tell me, is this a scammer, et cetera. And you can see here, it also tells me criminal records, possible court records, if there are liens, et cetera, against this person, or if they're a deadbeat dad or any of those kind of things, it's going to show up here. You can't rely on it solely to say, yes, this is absolutely there against this person, but my experience so far is it's been very good. And if I'm somebody, I'm going to go show directly houses. So, the safe practice is, if I'm meeting a client that I contacted through Zillow or through an online lead, I don't want to meet them right at the house first. The safe practice is, let's meet in my office, let's meet at Starbucks, let's meet somewhere else first. But this is a great safe practice, just to pull up that information before you meet with them anywhere. And if this person's a sex offender, if they've got a criminal record, or especially crimes against persons, if they're violent, anything like that, you can make some decisions. Do I even want to talk to this person at all before I meet with them? And this is really keep yourself safe. And that's all what it's about. For $69 a year, this is worth it to me. And I would think, especially if you're a female realtor out showing properties, that you hear so many scary reports these days, that this is one of those things I would want to use on a regular basis. Every new phone number you get, check them out. And I've had some where I talked to somebody and I couldn't understand their last name, and I wrote it down wrong, and I went in here and I looked, and at least I got the right information. So even if it's not just to keep you safe, sometimes it's just to get better information. Questions on this one?
Nothing.
Okay. And you're going to get this through CB Exchange. So log into your CB Exchange account, search for Spark. You're not going to, I don't think you'll find Forewarn directly. You're going to go through Spark, and Spark is a service. And then you sign up for Spark. And when you sign up for Spark, it'll say, hey, we have this app when you sign up for Spark called Forewarn. And that's how you get the Forewarn app. But well worth it in today's day and age.
Okay.
And I think we are on number 10 here.
Sure.
And I love QuickBooks. This is QuickBooks Self-Employed. This one does cost, it's $12, 11 something a month. So I want to say $12 a month. But if you use TurboTax to file your taxes, then by using QuickBooks Self-Employed, I can file my taxes for free. And so it pays for it already. And there are other apps that will do similar things. But one of those things that every agent needs to have, that to me is a must have, is an app that tracks your mileage. If you're guessing at mileage and you're just writing something down to take your deduction, if you ever get audited, you're going to lose that deduction. You're going to have to pay the IRS back. They want to see you've got something that an actual tracker for your mileage. And so, and if you're writing down every trip and having to, tab that on paper, you're wasting an awful lot of time. So if you're not using a mileage tracker app right now, there's another one called Mile IQ from Microsoft. That's about $60 a year. To me, I switched from Mile IQ to this one because I like the fact that it's tracking everything for me, not just the mileage. The app doesn't have to be open, by the way. It tracks every drive that I take, and I go through and I review the drives and I say, this one's personal, this one's for business. I swipe left or right for personal or business. And you can see that it's tracking everything there and what's my potential deduction. And at the end of the year, it creates a report for me. Here's your mileage report. Here's your business transactions report. It breaks down all the transactions based on what type of transaction that it is. So I can take all of my deductions automatically. And I'm going to give you one more kind of tip that's not app tip, but something that I believe is a best practice. If you're not doing this already, you should be doing this. Have a separate checking account and separate credit card for your business. Everything that you do for your business should be separate from your personal account. And so I have a separate checking account, separate credit card for my business. Everything that happens from my business, all of my income, all of my expenses get tracked in this app because it's tracking everything that goes in and out of that account and everything that goes on that credit card. Makes it super easy at the end of the year to know all of my deductions, what they are, because it's all going through this account. And for $120 a year, to me, this is well worth it. And again, and I file my taxes myself. I used to work for the IRS, so I'm very familiar with it. I don't need an accountant. But if you're using TurboTax to file your taxes, this makes it super easy. I can import this right into my tax file, and it's pretty much done for me when it comes to all of my deductions. Questions on anything there?
Nothing there.
So that is everything that I have for you guys. I hope this was helpful for you. Actually went longer than I thought. We were here almost an hour. So I hope you got something out of it. I hope you'll check out some of those apps and try them and save some time. Make some.
Okay, there is a question, John.
Yes.
What everybody wants to know: what made you change from the IRS to real estate?
Well, IRS isn't a great job to begin with, but I spent most of my career in government, so I'm also a military veteran, and I do specialize in helping veterans with their home purchases. And when I got out of the Army, I was in military intelligence, and I was looking to get back into military intelligence as a civilian. And the best way to do that is to have a federal job. And so I went to work for the IRS because it was a federal job. And I did that for a few years, and then never got, by that time, I was a Cold War veteran. So by that time, the wall came down in West Germany where I was, and there was no more Cold War things going on, and they were just getting rid of intelligence and to some extent. So that wasn't going to happen. I went to work for a local police department, did that for a few years, and I stayed in city government until I retired. And when I retired early enough to start a new career in real estate. and I've been doing this since 2014.
Cool. Yeah, this was great, John. You know, there's a lot of our newer agents on here, and they're just overwhelmed with apps. You know, I mean, all day, every day, we're hearing about this new app, widget, whatever, and this helps them focus on what will actually work for what they want to do.
Yeah, yeah, and that's really where I try to focus this is what's going to help a new agent to get going and get productive and hopefully not cost you a lot of money. But I want you, I want you to think about you can't do this for free. You know, if you're going to treat it like a business, you've got to be a business. And some things to do this right and to be a professional are going to cost you a little bit of money. Same thing, Zap is a great CRM. And if you're a new agent, try Zap. Use Zap as your CRM for a while until you get your feet wet. You've got to have a CRM no matter what. Eventually, you might switch to something where you say, you know what, I'm going to spend some money. I'm going to get something else that is a little more, has a little more bells and whistles maybe. But anyway, I hope you guys, for most of these things, I hope it's going to make you more productive and help you make some more money.
Well, John, thank you very much. And I don't think we have any more questions. Oh, we have somebody else on here that worked for the IRS and is a veteran. So there's two of you.
Well, Angela, thank you for your service. I appreciate all of our veterans.
And both of you. So anyway, thank you very much, John, and we'll see you down the road somewhere.
All right, you guys. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Okay. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.